Well, hello, world. Is this thing on? We're back. Good evening, everyone. It is season 33, somewhat belated, of Sunday Night Lights, as myself, Alex McKellar, and the great chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhauser, return to the place of action here at Top Split TV for round three. We're a bit of a late start for season 33 of Monza for this, the last evening of 2023. Corey, welcome back. Great to be back. Big night of racing ahead for us as we return to the skips, the sacred home of Monday and, of course, Sunday Night Lights. Yeah, I think I might have stuffed the sound. Can those people hear me? I'm going to stick it there. Can everyone hear me okay? It may not have been just Corey that they couldn't hear. There we go. Maybe. Corey, check 1, 2, 3. You with me, mate?
10-4, 10-4, can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. I got you this time round. We just missed the start of that glorious thing. Anyway, we're back in action finally, now with full sound, hopefully. Just working out the kinks. First thing I want to do is give a big shout out to Sebastian over there at Intense Michael on Twitch, who carried the can for us while we were on a break and kept the broadcast going. That was much appreciated. Similarly to Pim from Cavalcade Racing. Check him out on YouTube there at Cavalcade. Of course, they look after the Sunday night skippies each week that they're running. Pim went out of his way to help us with a camera pack for this week at this atrociously facilitated track by way of cameras. And Pim went out of his way, spent a lot of time, bit of extra time too, to figure out the kinks in this one so that we'd have some sort of vision here tonight, and it was very much appreciated, as is the turnout of the drivers here tonight. And we might just give a quick run through. We've got 14 drivers out on track, starting with the great Benny Simonson for Apex Racing. Great to see Benny back in the car. The guy's 9100 I rating these days, and a fantastic driver in real life and, of course, here in the skips, and it's great to see him back. The community manager for the skips and the Formula Fords, if I'm not mistaken, potentially still Adam Miles. He's car number 2 here tonight. Briefly tipped over the scales at 9K earlier in the week. He's back just underneath. Very hard to hold those sorts of figures. Similarly, back with us, former champion Tim Hendrickson for Team Torpedo. He's back in action here again. Captain 499, who I don't think he's 499 at the moment, but for Respectful Hornets Inc., we've got Mr. Neil Gardner as car number 4. Rising through the ranks from the hard work being put in and the hard yards for Goose Juice Racing is Mr. Ryan Chenoweth. He's car number 5 here tonight, just ahead of the other torpedo in the field, Anthony Jones. Mr. Jones for Team Torpedo, of course. Great fella, great racer. Good to see him back out there. And car number 7, Corey, the lone clown in the field. Third of the ANZ drivers after Gardner and Chenoweth is one Vasco Sorosky. Great to see the head clown back in action, Corey.
Yeah, absolutely. And Vasco looking for some great results here tonight. And then car number 8 is, instantaneously a really hard name to
You like that handoff to you, mate? I saw that one coming. So I thought, yeah, let's bring Corey in.
yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go with Genev Breska.
Let's call
from
it that.
Central Eastern Europe. Car number 9 from California, very early in the morning for him. It's going to be Jeffrey Decker. Words are hard because I was using them all night last night. Car number 10 from the UK and I, Joe Osborne. Great to see Joe out there. Everyone is just starting their first laps now. Very long lap around Monza combined. Mark Jeffrey, stalwart of Aussie Skip Racing, out here representing Aussie and Z as car number 11. Car 12 is Wolfgang Halper from DEATCH. Car number 13, not on the track, representing Oz and Z, is Jason Willman. And sneaking in, Alex, with a 1.7k I rating is Facundo Gennari, and he's just listed as international.
There you go. Janari, let's go with that. He, as you say, 1,751. That's tough. It's a 4,100 soft for those playing at home. Lead driver, 91.33. Car 14, 17.51. Wow. I wonder if he knows what he's in for. Although, having said that, I don't know if you've seen any of the racing here this week, Corey, but the guy at the back of the field, the back of the grid, can often be the guy at the front by the time they hit the first chicane. The racing here is, let's just say, quite unique and can make for some very different kind of racing do we see at most of the tracks.
Oh, absolutely, Alex. With us kicking off the lap with the big oval here at Monza, it races like Daytona or Talladega on the oval side of things, obviously. But with the way that the draft package works for the skippies, you could go from the back to the front very easily. I myself actually did a race earlier this week. I started from the pits in 17th, and I'd worked my way up to P7 with about half the race to go, and that's where I stayed for the majority of the race. But it's a fun racetrack, very fast speeds, and even though it's a 3.5 minute lap time, with the draft, there's always a chance of knocking off a couple of seconds. We might even see a 3:27 here tonight with the caliber of build we have up towards the pointy end of the I rating scale.
Yeah, could well do. I've seen 28s this week. I might have even grabbed a 28 or two myself, but all that, of course, is draft. I tell you, it makes a massive difference. And those who've worked out the strategy in the draft have probably been the most successful. Plus, it's really two tracks, and it is. It's Monza combined. You got two tracks where you start with the banked section where it's all about draft and how you do it. You see, I've seen attempts made at 5 wide in the banked sections this week, and some successfully, most not. 4 wide's achievable, but then you got the GP layout, the standard GP layout, where the action really takes place. And those who know how to get around the GP layout, it really can be a point of difference. However, that point of difference can be swallowed up pretty quickly once if the guys behind on the bank section know how to work the draft. So looks like our first driver to complete a lap will be Mr. Hendrickson. All the drivers will start coming over pretty quickly after that. But Hendrickson crossing the line now. He's dropped in a 29.5. That's a fantastic time for the first time round. Jones, his teammates, the second one to cross the line by the looks as they all start flying across. 29.7 for Jones. Excellent work. 30.3 for Chenoweth. I'm pretty sure I saw Simonson in there. Yeah, 29.54. Fantastic speed up there. I haven't seen too many 29s in quali this week, Corey, but we've seen the top 3 drivers already drop them in. Oh, as Mr. Miles pops up. He's only managed a 30 dead at a 30.04. 4/100ths off there. Or, 30.36. So there you go. That's some pretty fast times up the front there, Corey.
Oh, absolutely, Alex, and that's just the nature of the track. Even with the Monza road course, there's not very many areas where you really need to be applying heavy brakes. So 90% of the time at this track, you're on full throttle, and the timer has clicked 0. It's time to go through the grid already.
Yeah, beautiful. Let's have a look at how they will start for round 3 of season 33 of Sunday Night Lights. Tim Hendrickson for Team Torpedo with a 29.5 on pole. Just behind him and alongside him on the front row will be car number 1, Benny Simonson for Apex Racing. The second Torpedo, Ant Jones, will start out of third, and alongside him on the second row will be Adam Miles from UK and I. Yernik Breska from Central Eastern Europe. He starts out of 5th tonight. Starting alongside leading ANZ driver off the grid will be Vasco Sorosky for Team Clowns. Jeff Decker, it's about approaching 2:30 in the morning over there for Jeff. El Gato Con Lipa on Twitch if you want to check out a first-person view of World Resources Institution, I'm going to go with. He starts out of 7th. Captain 499 for Respectful Hornets Racing. Neil Garner out of 8th. Ryan Chenoweth for Goose Juice Racing. The Wildlife Warrior out of 9th. Joe Osborne for UK and I out of 10th. Out of 11th tonight will be Wolfgang Helper and Facundo Gennari out of 12th tonight as we go over the page for our last 2. Mark Jeffrey and Jason Willman, two of the very significant stalwarts of Skip Barber Racing in the ANZ community. Great to see them both in there. Willman, for a long time, holding the most SNL caps, MNL and SNL caps. So great to see him having a run in the top split, choosing to start from the back without setting a time. As we get ready for 6 laps here, you can see what is the normal front straight from this vision. The normal front straight split into 2. That's how they do it. And this becomes one of very few circuits in the world and on iRacing where it's essentially a figure 8 because there's a bridge partway through where the track circles in on itself. But here we go, folks. 6 laps as the red lights come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and we are away, Corey, for 6 of the best round here at Monza Combined.
Absolutely, Alex, and it's already a stonking getaway for our top 4. Adam Miles being able to break away from Bresca a little bit here as they head into the oval for the first time. And this is the kind of track where Americans will really be able to have a little bit of an advantage, especially if they do a lot of oval racing. And you can see the draft immediately making them go 3 wide for second. In fact, 3 wide for the lead as Tim Hendrickson goes up in the middle. And I can see towards the back, Ryan Chenoweth is making his way up through the field as well. We're going to see a lot of people playing with this draft, getting huge runs and trying to get up towards the front as we just got a giant pack of skippies, mostly 3 wide, heading into what would be oval turn number 3 here, Alex.
It's a squadron of skippies, I think we could call this. It looks like one of the trained fighter pilots. Pair of 3s up front and stragglers behind, all sitting in there in this squadron of skippies. Briefly 4 wide in places, most of it 3 wide now as they try and get themselves settled. Very much compresses here, funnels, and then spreads out again. They'll try and go 5 wide here if they can down the front straight for the first time. Who's going to get to what is the traditional first chicane? 4 wide into the first chicane. It's at least 3. This is where it all comes to play. Haven't seen too many races this week where the whole field enters the chicane at once, but here we go. They come in together. Will they go out together? There's smoke. There's one around. It's Jones and Sorowski. Jones and Sorowski are gone out the back. Oh, there's cars everywhere. Looks like Decker in the background, judging by the livery. A whole lot. Let's go and have a look at what happened here. We'll slow it down. I'm trying to see. It'll compress massively here on the run in. Let's see where. Oh, it's hard to see. You got Simonson on the inside. He's fine through there. Oh, it's Jones. I don't know if he got a tap, but he's just gone round. Jones has gone round, and that's, you know, sideways across the track. There's not going to help. And then Sorowski, I don't know if he got hit or anything. He seems all right. He's just been slowed down there. And there's a few more around the place, just trying to get through pretty much. Doesn't look like too much damage anywhere. Wings are all straight. Everything seems okay, or maybe a bit on Decker there. But anyway, let's return to live pictures. What's going up front? That splintered the field. We've got a breakaway pack of 4. Hendrickson through to Osborne. Then you got a man in the island there, Bresca. And then Chenoweth behind. And sporting a new livery by the looks there. Quite striking. I'll have to get used to that one. Then you got a 3-pack of Gardner, Jeffrey and Sorowski. So 4 ANZ drivers out of 5 in a row here. Now the 3 there, you got Chenoweth, Gardner and Jeffrey. If they are smart, and Sorowski there making 4, they're smart, they'll work together. They'll get up to Bresca, who's an island there. But I think realistically, the front 4, if they're smart, although Bresca dropping off the back, it's now a pack. Oh no, he was always off the back, wasn't he? Osborne, sorry, just dropping a little bit off the back. He's now out of the draft, and the front 3 will drive away with this now that they're returning to the bank section for the second time, Corey.
Yeah, absolutely, Alex. The draft is very important around here, and as soon as you lose it pretty massively. And I've noticed that the skippies, they tend to go a little bit faster when you race side by side like our leaders are doing. They're side by side, 3 wide going through the oval. And I can update you on the Adam Miles spin. He did it all by himself, just got a little bit too many berries under his right foot. And while you were going through the replays, something happened to Halper going through the exit of the first Lesmo.
Yeah, all right. Let's see if I can find that. Just looking for it. He's gone into the pits, so he's gone somewhere. I'm just trying to spot it. Here we go. Let's see what happened to Halper. Going through the Lesmo, as you say, can lose the rear. He's going through here quite easily. In fact, I did this myself during the week as I was up actually leading the race. I had Hendrickson in my mirrors, which is not a very frequent occurrence, and then I did exactly that. Oh, I know how you feel, mate. Anyway, let's go back, check in on our leaders. They've finished the bank sections and they've come out, and what are they, 2.5 seconds ahead and of this chasing pack now with Osborne has not been, or he's been dropped, and Breska has not yet been caught by Sorosky. Back into it. Got the car. It looks clean. Doesn't look like there was any contact or anything there. And he now leads this ANZ quartet, whatever we want to call it, of Sorosky, Chenoweth, Gardner, and Jeffrey. Jeffrey trailing off a bit. But these front three of this tertiary pack here, Sorosky, Chenoweth, and Gardner, no strangers to each other. They've raced a lot together, and they know what it will take to move forward, because realistically, they'll all have, they're in P6 as the front of this pack. They'll have P4 in their sights, realistically. Although he's 3.5 seconds up the road, he won't be a problem for them to catch if they play it smart with the number of laps they got left, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And as long as they manage to stay in a line and draft with each other, not against each other, then they'll be able to catch up to Breska and Osborne very quickly here. I don't imagine that they're going to have enough to try and challenge for the top three unless something happens to them. But you know, the battle for fourth is going to definitely be well and truly on, as long as these three play nicely together. They do have a history of racing pretty hard with each other, as well as being very respectful with each other, but it's a toss-up to the way it's going to go, especially with how the history of SNL has gone for a couple of these guys, as I can see Chenoweth starting to make a move on Sorosky on what would be the back straight here, going into the Parabolica. So that's going to be another lap down, and just 4 laps left to go now, Alex.
Yeah, it's smart to use the draft as effectively as possible. Some of the straights here, you want to do the leapfrogging, but then once you hit the banking, that's where you want to fan out and go 2 to 3 wide wherever possible. So a 27.9 for our leader. That's how effective the draft is. 27.7 for Sorosky in that last time round. So going into the bank section, they are 2.14 seconds behind Breska, as Breska has now caught Osborne. But if we think about it in those terms, it is 2.3 now, because the two drivers in front, are they going side by side? Yes, they are. That's going to make it infinitely more difficult. But look at the 2x2, although they've gone line astern. Advantage. Trailing pack of 3. Look at them hunting down like a pack of hunting dogs. They're chasing. Look, you got the front 3 in 3. Then you got the next lot in 2. Then you got the next lot in 3. And then a string of skippies behind. Amazingly, most of the field still in one camera shot, albeit a supremely long straight, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. I think there was only one that was really not in the camera shot, and that was the 12 of Halper. But, you know, he's doing whatever he can at the back of the pack to try and catch up, as our tertiary pack of 3 just got a little bit shifty there with Chenoweth on the extreme outside. Neil Gardner got a little bit unsettled in the middle part of the second oval corner, and they just about made contact and went up into the fence there, Alex.
Importantly, pretty much neutral. They've come out maybe, I tell you what, they've made up a lot of time in the braking zone. More time in the braking zone of that first chicane than they did in the rest of the bank section. And that's the other, it really is a tale of two circuits here. Fan out, side draft around the bank sections, and then who's got the chops through the GP section, where the skill and the cornering really, really counts. And these guys, although they've lost a little bit through this section, side by side's probably not going to help them. into the braking zone here. That's not going to help him at all. That's going to compromise line for Chenoweth there. Not the best player, I don't think, and they're back to where they started. So let's check in on our leaders. Adam Miles. This is really, and you go by I rating. And there is a concept that you make your own luck. You've got cars 1, 2, and 3, and look at this. They're in positions 1, 2, and 3. Although the number plates are slightly mixed around. You know, I rating's there for a thing. I mean, they say it's a number, and it is a number, but it's also a rating and a ranking system. It's a matchmaking system. And you can see the 1, 2, 3 at the front here. Doesn't happen every time, but it's kind of poetic when it does, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. Especially now with Tim Hendrickson hitting the front. They 1, 2, and 3, who are 3, 2, and 1. And it's just a fun little play on things sometimes as Adam Miles now going for the inside move back on Hendrickson as they head up towards the Parabolica. And as soon as they cross the start-finish line here, we'll have 3 laps complete and 3 laps to go on this really long Monza combined circuit. It's almost a mini Nürburgring with the way you really got to set yourself up for those important drafty straights there, Alex.
I'm very interested to see what sort of times. 28's that time round, a 30 and a 29 for the second pack. The third pack now, managing 20. Instead of 28s, yeah, 29. They really needed to maximise more of that run through the GP section. They didn't quite get it right. I thought this would end up being a 5-way battle for P4, and it still might. But if we look at the front 3, they got it sorted. A bit of side draft, although probably a bit low there from Adam. It's not as much banking down there, and it could slow them down a bit. Osborne and Bresca side by side in a good positioning on the track, although they're going a bit line astern now. And then our 3 chasing Skippy's the ANZ boys. They've kind of got it sorted briefly. Then Swarovski comes back out to go past, make it 3 wide. Really doing a good job in the draft. However, because the 2 in front of them are still side by side doing an excellent job of managing the side draft there, they really haven't gained anything. They really need to get this GP section sorted if we're going to have a 5-way battle for P4, Corey.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. But it's looking like that's not going to really be a possibility, as I'm just looking at the distance and time between them. There's still a 2-second gap between Bresca and Chenoweth, so it's going to be very difficult for them to draw that gap in, especially if they can't get themselves sorted as quickly as those 2 ahead of them.
The inside 2 need to back out. Let Swarovski take the racing line. Preferably don't punt him into the braking zone. Good work. That'll help. See, there's 4/10. They just got in the braking zone there. So if they just settle here, let the guy in front run his lines, then they should be able to catch the other guys in front, and we'll be on for that 5-way. Meanwhile, line astern they go here, just looking for speed. Diving deeper into our field. Ant Jones has continued on, and he is still chasing pretty hard. He's the next driver to Neil Gardner, the back of that trio of ANZ drivers with Willman and Jeffrey. Jeffrey's dropped a bit back from where he was on the tail end of the 3 we've been focused on, behind Willman in P's 10 and 11 respectively. Gennari, a debutant, car number 14, he's running a lonely race, as is Jeff Decker, who's had to run through the pits, and of course Halper getting the outside drive tyre in the gravel and doing that little spin through Lesmo number 1 is at the tail of the field. At the front of the field, we have Hendrickson, Miles and Simonson still. Bresca and Osborne with Chenoweth, who made that move again, and it's cost them. So that 4/10 that they got, they lost it all again at the second chicane by switching positions there. They're going to struggle to catch them there, I think, Corey.
Yeah, absolutely, Alex. With it only being 2 laps to go when they get to the start-finish line, really all chances of them trying to catch these 2 ahead of them starting to evaporate very quickly, especially with just the way these guys are arguing for position as they come out of that first chicane. It's not like really egregious arguing for position either. It's just a general, oh yeah, I've got the draft at the moment, let me take the spot. but it's really hurting them in the long run. They've got to be a little bit smarter than this if they want to have any chance of trying to catch them. But the two ahead of them are already side by side before they get anywhere near the start of the banked oval section. And these guys struggling to get, side by side before they reach the concrete for the banked section. So it's really starting to become just a race in three here for the sixth position.
Yeah, that's it, mate. The front three got it sorted. The second two have got it sorted. They got the side-by-side action going well. The three behind, they've got the side-by-side going, which is fine. And they've gained a bit, actually. They're up about 3/10 or 4/10 now from where they started and crossed the line. But they're only matching the times. They're not beating the times of the guys in front because they just can't quite get it sorted during the GP section. That'll be frustrating, a couple of those guys, each one of them thinking, yeah, if I just go in front, I can get them through quicker and all the rest of it. Unfortunately, at the moment, not quite working out. Meanwhile, at the front, Hendrickson, Miles and Simonson just casually and calmly. You see Simonson sitting behind. We're about halfway through lap 5, Corey. We've got 1.5 to go. Who's your money on at this stage out of these front three?
Out of the front three, I'd have to put my money on Simonson here. He's just been very patient sitting there in behind him. I noticed sometimes on the oval, he'll just sit in there behind him as well, not really going for the three wide. So I reckon he's got a plan up his sleeve. And I reckon he's been trying a couple of things throughout this race. And he's got the racecraft and the race smarts to really go for a move where these guys were least expected, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Miles this time looking to make a move into the chicane, similar to what we've seen Chenoweth do a couple of times. The side by side, these guys have got enough of a lead to sort of have a play around, although realistically, there's a bit of a gap now, and it is. Oh, there's been something's gone on, and Breska's broken away. It's now a 4-car pack. And how far back? They're only 1.3 seconds off. If they can sort of manage, and I've got to tell you, the blood will be pumping from the Aussie, the ANZ trio. They'll be wanting to get by Osborne and get cracking and see if they can't get in and actually make the 5-car battle for P4. But I suggest that with the draft and everything and the way it works through the bank section, as we see, oh no, Gardner's going to sit and wait for that bank section. It's going to be a massive 5-car showdown for that P4 on the last lap. I can guarantee it, Corey.
Yeah, absolutely, Alex. I just went back to see the reason as to why Osborne had fallen into the clutches of our back three here. And he just had a real horrible line going through turn 1. The first part of it was what's an apex, and the second part of it was too much apex. So that's why he's been swallowed up by this pack now, as Gardner gets around Osborne this time, going through the parabolica as we get ready to start the last lap here. These guys are absolutely going to catch up to Breska, and this is going to be a 5-car battle for that 4th position now, Alex.
Yeah, I can see it happening. White flag starts to wave as they're going to fan out. They will. They're going to try and make it 4 wide or 3 wide. They're sort of substituting in and out of the 3 wide stakes. But that gap is now, it's coming down. I can see it ticking over in my telemetry. It's now under a second, and it will very quickly become a 5-car pack. Well, they've kind of gone a bit dog's breakfasty in the draft, though. It's not quite ticking down as quickly as it was, but they are certainly getting there. By the end of this bank section, the time they hit the GP section, I imagine, it's down to half second now and closing. It will be a 5-car battle royale, as they say, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex, especially as they're going through the GP section where they actually need to use their brakes and a little bit of their driver skill a little bit. This is where things are really going to step up for these guys if they now have caught up to Breska, and on the very inside, Neil Gardner has overtaken him on the outside. So too has Vasco Sorosky. But Gardner not in the greatest of positions down there as far as exit speed from the oval will go. A little bit of a squeeze there from Breska on Sorosky, and the battle is really starting to intensify now for this 4th position, as I also saw a couple of moves being made. We're going 3 wide, 4 wide in the slightly smaller section. backing out of it that time was Chenoweth, and Osborne says, hey, I was up here for the longest time. You guys aren't going to forget about me. As Vasco Sorowski
Oh, engine.
has absolutely cooked the model going into the braking zone for turn 1.
Oh, no. I'm going to focus on the lead pack now. Oh, my gosh. How is that, eh? All right. Shattered for the head clown as we see the front three now going at it in earnest. Hendrickson taking the inside line will be the outside into the section chicane, though, as they come down. Oh, too wide, and they're kind of overlapping. It's like 1.5 to 2.5 wide, sort of. I don't know how you express that. Second pack, how they get that sorted through the chicane. Gardner coming out in front, wanting to lead it and potentially get enough of a break into Ascari and into the Parabolica to take it out. Meanwhile, Simonson, who waited patiently for so long, has stepped it up, gone to the front of the pack. Miles now tapering off a bit. Seems to be almost a race in two, although this long straight into Ascari will give Miles a chance to catch up in that gap, although it's not really closing down. Starts to now as the draft kicks in, but it's Hendrickson and Simonson. Hendrickson's going to show the nose, but pull back in behind with the hope that Miles won't get enough of a run to challenge into the final corner. And then similarly, what's going on behind? Gardner with a decent gap. It's Gardner's to lose. Oh, lose it he might just have done. The rear of the car stepping out in the braking zone for Ascari. Meanwhile, up in front, side by side, you see Simonson take the defensive line. He's opened the door with just enough, but held Miles. They're going to go 3 wide into the Parabolica for the final time. And Simonson in pole position there on the inside, potentially. Hendrickson keeps him very tight. There's a little bit of a touch. Hendrickson spews out. It'll be Simonson, although the drive will go to Miles all the way around the outside. He goes, and it's likely to be who's going to get it. Simonson, Miles. Miles gets it on the line all the way around the outside. Now we see the similar race going on between Osborne and Gardner. It's Osborne, I think, gets it on the line just from Gardner, Breska, and Chenoweth, who has tapered off at the end. Ant Jones, who had that lose in the first part of the race. He's finished 5 positions down from where he started in 8th. Wheelman up 5 into 9th. Fantastic drive for the man who didn't qualify. 38 I rating for his trouble. About half that, a little under for Mark Jeffrey. In 10th there, Gennari on debut. Decker, he's had a sad second race. He originally debuted at Belle Isle a few seasons ago, and he was kind enough to stay up and bolster our strength of field here tonight in the hope of getting a good race, and unfortunately not the way it played out. But that brings us to the end. Why don't we check out the race results there for our return to Sunday Night Light Racing here on Top Split TV for season 33, round 3 here at Monza. Adam Miles all the way around the outside of the Parabolica. Even with a little bit of argy-bargy with the bumping of the wheels there. He drove around the outside to take it out, and he'll be very happy. Only his, I want to say his 3rd win, maybe his 4th. No doubt we'll have a chat to him after he's in the green room, so we'll have a chat. Benny Simonson on his return to Sunday Night Lights just pipped at the post, 22 100ths behind. Great to see Benny back up there and in amongst it, finishing in 2nd. Tim Hendrickson for Team Torpedo. He's finished in 3rd. 3 of the best there going around, showing us how it is done. Joe Osborne for UK and I. He's finished in 4th tonight. Somewhat quiet, somewhat adventurous ways at different times, and it certainly got exciting across the line as he's finished fractionally ahead of Captain 499, Mr. Neil Gardner in P5. Yernig Breska on debut has finished, and I'll have to work on that, how we pronounce him, because I'm hoping we see more of him. He's finished down in 6th position on debut. Fantastic debut for him. Ryan Chenoweth, the Wildlife Warrior for Goose Juice Racing. Up and down night there in the middle pack, but he's finished with a strong P7. Ant Jones, after losing the rear of the car through the opening chicane on the first lap, he's held on strongly for a top 10 finish in P8 for Team Torpedo. Jason Willman, one of the pair of stalwarts of ANZ Skippy Racing there in P9, just ahead of the other one, Mr. Mark Jeffrey for Team Bullpit. In P10, top 10 finish for both of those fine gentlemen tonight. Congratulations to them. Facundo Gennari, who on debut has finished inside the points, P11, as did Jeff Decker for World Resources Institute Racing. Now we can see the full text. Rounding out the SNL point scoring positions in P12. Wolfgang Holper on debut has finished in 13th, and poor old head clown Mr. Vasco Sorofsky, who was in it up to his eyeballs until he wasn't, downshifted one too many in the braking zone of the first chicane on the final lap, and the Egg and Bacon award tonight, Corey, goes to Vasco, unfortunately.
Yeah, not a great start to the season for the head clown. The other clowns are going to probably hear about this, and they're going to want to try and take the head clown title away from him. So we'll have to look forward towards that as the season progresses for us here. But great win there for Adam Miles. Great race from the top three. All in all, they had a cool, calm, collected race all the way through, and it really only became somewhat frantic there in the Parabolica on the final lap. So good job to all of them, but well done, first and foremost, Adam Miles taking home another spectacular win.
Absolutely. Speaking about Adam Miles, let's bring him up. Say good day to our race winner on our return to broadcasting here on Top Split TV. Mr. Adam Miles, I was debating, mate. Well, first of all, congratulations. Around the outside of the Parabolica, not easy to do. Now, was it number 3 or number 4 here tonight, your victories?
Number 2, I think, actually.
Oh,
I think I've
really?
got 4 races, and yeah, I had one bad, not a great Iberian soft race, a P2, and yeah, I think that's win number 2.
Yeah, right. I have a terrible habit of underestimating the SNL victories of our drivers. But for yourself, mate, you've well and truly doffed the bridesmaids tag now and taken out a famous victory on our return.
Oh, actually, if I should correct myself, I thought you meant this week at Monza. In SNL, this is probably, I think, number 4 or 5. So
Yeah, nice.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it probably wasn't the classic broadcast that we'd hoped for your return, but I think everyone up front played a sensible race, as Corey said. You know, once we'd got the gap, there wasn't really much to do besides just not lose a gap. It was a shame what happened in the first chicane. Looks like Ant just lost the back end. Otherwise, I think we'd have had potentially all 14 of us still there on lap 6. I think everyone was driving pretty sensibly.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. You know, just an unfortunate thing, not quite an unusual thing to see, particularly in regards to Ant. He doesn't normally make those kind of mistakes, and not the kind of mistake we've been seeing there in the first chicane. It's usually another kind of mistake that results in a bit of carnage here this week. But having said that, it's not too often this week that we've seen the entire field arrive successfully at that chicane either. So a testament to the drivers in that as well. But for yourself, mate, a fantastic start to our return to the broadcasts. Must be happy with that and happy with the racing out there you've seen so far this season as well, I suppose.
Yeah, we've had a good season so far. A couple of visits to Yale Britain with Alden Park and Brands Hatch. Participation was good, and then yeah, this was participation here has been great. I mean, it's better than any race we had last season and probably the season before. I know it's a bit of a people call it a meme track, and it's clearly a bit of an outlier, a bit like Monaco really for Formula One. It's just a complete outlier in terms of the type of racing you get. But people seem to have enjoyed it. I've seen you on track with Sam, the cowboy, so 10, 15 times this week. So you must be getting something out of it as well to keep coming back.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Nothing like a combination of an interesting track and a Christmas holiday to get folks out on track. That's for sure. But no, congratulations once again, mate. Thank you as always for the work you do for the community. Great to see everyone back out and looking forward to many more weeks ahead of us. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight before we let you go?
Shout out to Benny and Tim for their podiums. Yourselves and Corey, it's fantastic that you're back. Looking forward to watching the race back and all the races this season, hopefully. Shout out to Hannah. She's sitting behind me and always cheering me on and bringing me good luck. And just to the whole field and the Skippy community. I hope we sort of build on this and the series can go from strength to strength.
Perfect. Thanks, Adam, mate. Great to talk to you as always. Look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Yeah, Corey Adam Miles came out with a famous victory. Couldn't think of a better bloke to get one on our return to Sunday nights.
Yeah, absolutely, Alex. And it was, as I said before, it was a great battle as the three of them three wide going through the Parabolica there on the last lap. And, I agree with him. If Ant didn't make that mistake, we probably would have had a pack of just about 14 cars for the last lap, maybe a couple of drops off, so maybe about a pack of 10 maybe. But, great racing all in all. They managed to gap perfectly. They managed to get around the track without running into each other egregiously. And, they came off with an excellent result. And, of course, the win for Adam. He's probably burnt off a couple of those bridesmaids dresses now, but he's still got a few more that he's got to burn off yet.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Absolutely. Now, the other person we have in the green room is the season's first Egg and Bacon Award winner, Mr. Vasco Sorowski, who again was in it up to his eyeballs until he wasn't, mate. The downshift brought you undone.
Evening, fellas. Welcome back. Awesome to see everyone turning out for this. Yeah, that was interesting. Did a lot of work trying to get back up to the pack in front, and yeah, coming up to the last lap, I think, everyone was trying to position themselves in the right spot, and I thought we were going to do okay, and I don't know, guess I grabbed 2 instead of 1 or something happened anyway. So that was the end of that. Someone had to come last, and I put my hand up for it for the first one, but hopefully the last one of the season. It's always good fun. The boys played well together to try to catch the guys in front, and did. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough. And you know what it's like around here. Anything can happen at any point, and
usually does. Yeah. Well, mate, as someone I blew my first engine in, I got to think 3 years last week. Or the week, I can't remember, this season anyway. I know how you feel, mate, but certainly not the race you're hoping for. But like you said, you guys work pretty well together. A couple of little mix-ups in the GP section, I thought, but the rest of it seemed to go very well, and the result was certainly on for the taking. So hopefully that augurs well for the rest of the season, mate. So congratulations. And thank you for turning up to support the series as always. It is much appreciated. And we like to see more of that from folks at home who might have caught their glimpse, or the light may have, or the light bulb might have gone off that we're back. We expect to be back in full from here on out. We're bringing you the best, what I think is the best racing on the iRacing service. So thanks again for the support, mate. Look forward to talking to you soon. But before we let you go, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Oh, you guys as always, and a big shout out for doing another season. All the drivers were turning up as always, and it's great to see how many people jumped on for this, especially considering the way the track's been this week. So it's really awesome to see the other drivers. Wish everyone a happy new year and all the best for the next year, and hope to see all smiling faces having some fun. Easy.
Absolutely. Thanks, mate. Look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thanks, guys.
There you go, Corey Head Clown, Vasco himself. We just saw what brought him unstuck initially, and they did. Look, he's at the tail end of the field there, and he was at the end of it. He was in the fight for fourth position once that front pack got away. It shows what you can do with the right folks behind the wheel.
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly the race can change at a track like this, where draft is so king. And as long as you know how to deal with the draft properly, as we were saying before the race started, you could go from last to right up towards the pointy end very quickly. Conversely, you can go from the pointy end to last very quickly too, as Vasco generously described to us with the way that he got the Egg and Bakey award there. So it's unfortunate that's happened to him round 1, but I know that he'll be back bigger and better next week, and he'll bounce back pretty hard.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Look forward to seeing that as well. Welcome return then to one Benny Simonson, who was in that front pack, of course, finished second in the end here tonight. I thought he positioned himself very well into that final run. It's amazing what sort of drive you can get around the outside there that saw Adam Miles take it out. But welcome back, Benny. Great to see you out there again, mate. Hope you had some fun.
It definitely had some fun. Thanks for you guys for coming back as well. So I thought I have to come and support it a bit, but good win by Adam. I really had no clue of where I wanted to position myself in that last lap. I think you could probably do it from all 3 positions. So I kind of went with try and lead, and then maybe they battle a bit behind and I get a lucky break. But good run from Adam there. So well done to him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, you're right. I think you can win it from inside and outside. I haven't seen 3 wide done like that, but you guys made it work pretty well. A little bit of bumping here that you would expect into the final corner on the last lap. But yeah, I know I've rolled the dice on the inside a few times this week and come up short as well. But I've seen guys on the inside get it done as well. So yeah, look, it's really interesting that final corner and how you approach it. But certainly, I think you guys showed how it's done here tonight. Got the clean breakaway. Commented that the top 3 rated drivers were the ones who were able to navigate and get through what is, playing a bit of skippy roulette through the bank section at times here. But fantastic drive, mate. Great to see you back. Really do appreciate your support in the series. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Just thanks for you guys to come back. It's really nice for you to put the show back on. So thumbs up to both of you, and well done to the 3 guys at the front. Bit boring for the first 5 laps, but I think we got a lucky break. But good racing as well, and hopefully see you next week.
Beautiful. Thanks, Benny. Look forward to that, mate. Look forward to seeing you again soon.
See you guys.
There you go, Corey, one of the greats out there on track here tonight, Benny Simonson. Of course, real world driver and instructor over in Europe, races the GT cars, but loves the skips. And doesn't that say something?
Oh, absolutely, Alex. And we're so privileged to have Simonson grace us with his presence. He's a great dude, a really excellent driver when it comes to skippies in the sim. And, the professionalism and quality that he brings to his racing, whether it's in sim or in real life, is just incredible to watch. And I reckon if it weren't for that little bit of contact he had with Tim, he might have had a little bit of a better run coming out of the Parabolica, and it would have been a lot closer of a finish than what we saw. But it was definitely a great run from Simonson, and he played the real patient game there, waited for the last lap to strike, and it just about pulled off for him. So welcome back, Benny, and thanks for coming and supporting us, and hopefully we see more of him again as the season progresses.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of a very patient game, he's been waiting there at the broadcast green room. He's got his name sorted this time round. Jeff Decker, very late. It's just gone 3 a.m. in your part of the world, mate. Thank you for staying up with us. And unfortunately, not the race you were looking for, but hopefully some fun along the way.
Yeah, no, there was some fun along the way. I dropped back to help give Ant a tow to get him back in a little bit of a fight. But yeah, I don't know. Well, it was funny. On my end, it looked like I was just getting like driven through, but then I looked back at the replay and it looked like someone just strapped a tow hook around me in their car and were just like dragging me along for the ride afterwards. So it's kind of funny. It's just one of those things that happens sometimes. But it was cool to see the peeps out on track. It's a good group. It's always a good time.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I know we certainly appreciate the support, and something like this to kick us off and then hopefully build upon and make the Sunday nights what they can be. We know they can be and have been for a long time. So people like yourself going that extra mile is very much appreciated. So thank you again for staying up late and turning out. So
Of course.
didn't go your way tonight, but hopefully if you can, maybe get another 1 or 2 in, things might go a bit better for you.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I'll try to sneak into these every now and again. Like you said, it's a crazy time, but yeah, hopefully I can catch some of the more traditional tracks. Are we going to Belle Isle this season? Do you know?
Yeah, I believe we might be.
Yes.
And I know that's
I'll
one of
probably
your
show up for
favorites.
that one then.
Yeah, nice. Hang
It's
on.
the best.
Yeah, let me just check here. Schedule, time, and I think Belle Isle. It's around 9, mate. So put that in your calendar, and we'll be away.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I
perfect.
love it. Yeah. If I'm in town, I'll be there.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, mate. Well, thank you again for joining us and your support. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Just the whole Skippy community. It's so much fun to come back and race all the Skippy lads because yeah, it's just a good time. I feel like everyone has a good time seeing each other, racing each other, and it's definitely one of the more friendly communities. And you guys are a big part of that for putting this back on and everything.
Thanks, mate. Really do appreciate it. And great to see you out there and look forward to seeing you again soon.
You too, yeah, and Happy New Year's, guys.
Same, mate. Thank you. There you go, Corey. Jeffrey Decker back out there. Only his second appearance. Just got him on camera at the moment. New livery for us. Nice bit of flare of colour there. And not the race he would have looked for. Sounded like he got a bit of cord in that elastic kind of netcode that we've seen a bit in recent seasons across a few categories. It seems to affect the open wheelers a bit more than others, but still, if he can walk away with at least a bit of a smile on his face, we've hopefully done our job.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. I turned the radios on for a little bit at the end of the race, and he was deep in discussion with Jason Willman about the that rubber banding effect that was happening, because those were the two that were caught up together in it. But he is so dedicated coming in to a race session that starts at 2:15 in the morning for him, and as you said, just gone 3 a.m. and he was still sitting there waiting for an interview to happen. So thank you very much for coming out, mate. Um, uh, he's just an all-round really good dude. Can't wait to see him back at Belle Isle, but hopefully we can get him in a couple more times between now and Belle Isle. Belle Isle's 6 weeks away, so there's a couple of really good tracks between now and then, including one very famous Australian track. So hopefully we get him in for at least maybe a Bathurst or an Oran Park before we get him in for Belle Isle.
Yeah, that's it. We got Oran Park and Bathurst this season. Looking forward to both those tracks for different reasons, actually. Obviously, they're very starkly different tracks. But that might do us for tonight on our return, folks. Congratulations to everyone who turned out. The top three, Miles, Simonson and Hendrickson. The racy middle pack there with the ANZ trio. Rolled the dice, came up a little bit short tonight, but it was great to see everyone back out there having a crack. Corey, do you want to tell the folks what we got coming up this week?
So this week I've got the fourth round of the Western Australia versus USA Sprint Car Speed Week coming up on Tuesday. I will not be live streaming for that, but I'll be at the track filming and putting videos up on Facebook and YouTube. I recently also started doing some actual commentating at Pinjar Park for the Outlaw Kart, so I've done that a couple times already this month, including just last night, and the next event for them is coming up early February, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that one that will be coming up, I think the 3rd of February. But apart from that, just wish everyone a happy new year. I hope you all have an excellent start to the new year. And thank you all for welcoming us back with absolute open arms.
Yeah, absolutely. Just for those playing at home, go check out, of course, we have the Discord, which is where we keep everyone and everything updated at the Top Split Discord. The YouTube channel is where you'll find this and all the other 32 other seasons of Monday and Sunday Night Lights. We'll be back here on Top Split TV, same bat time, same bat channel next week, and until the end of the season for season 33 of Sunday Night Lights. But thank you everyone for joining us. It's been great to be back. Bit rusty, but I think we got there okay. But on behalf of the chaotic one, Mr. Corey Steinhauser, I wish everyone a happy new year, all the best for the coming year. And until next time, I will say ciao for now.